Good afternoon. I have some notes here because I thought I might need them, but really I don't think I do need them. I would like to say it's my privilege today to introduce to the London Rotary Club Marina Barao and Marcos Moria, who are here visiting from Aracaju, Brazil. Many of the Rotarians here today will remember Marina as the exchange student from 2007-2008. She attended all your lunch meetings and from Central Secondary School, and she really contributed, I think, to the Rotary Club of London, and we certainly enjoyed having her. I had the privilege of having her at my house for 4 months, and it was a joy to have Marina with me because Dawn was living out west in Regina at the time, and I had this big empty house with a dog. So Marina came, and I was a little worried at first, thinking, what am I doing with a teenage girl at my age? Am I going to have to go through all sorts of issues and problems? However, as soon as Marina knocked on the front door, I knew everything was going to be fine. Marina is a very she's a very sensible girl, a no-nonsense girl, and we, I think, had a wonderful time. At least I know I did. And Dawn and I both have had the opportunity to see Marina twice in the 10 years that she has been gone. We met up with her in Florida and spent a week with her in Florida, and that was great. And then a couple of years ago, we had the opportunity to go to South America, and we extended our stay especially to go to Aracaju to meet Marina and her wonderful, wonderful family. So it is with great pleasure that I would like to say that Marina, welcome back to Canada, and Marcos also, your first visit to Canada. And I think Marina is going to tell you a little bit about her life and what she's done in the last 10 years since she's been here.
So hello, everyone. Well, first, I'd like to say that my English is not as good as it was 10 years ago, so please forgive any mistakes. I would like to say thank you for the opportunity of being here today, but not only that, I really have to say thank you for the opportunity of a lifetime. If it wasn't for Rotary, I probably wouldn't have come to Canada 10 years ago and experienced many moments that helped me to build who I am today. So Lillian, one of my really loved host moms, said, my name is Marina, and I think some of you may not remember me because I know that you've hosted many exchange students over 10 years, but I was hosted by the Rotary Club of London in 2007-2008. And to start this quick presentation, I would like to read an excerpt from a wonderful book that your fellow member Bob Early lent me during my exchange called Touch the Dragon by a Rotary exchange student, Karen Connolly, who went to Thailand. So she says, perhaps things are most beautiful when they are not quite real, when you look upon a scene as an outsider and come to possess it in its entirety and forever, when you live the present with the lucidity and feeling of memory, when for want of connection the word deepens and becomes art. I truly think that for exchange students, the world is this amazing planet where everyone is connected. And the Rotary Youth Exchange helps the students to get outside their bubbles and get to know what it is like to live in another part of the globe. And that is a beautiful form of art, to be able to view things from a different perspective. And that perspective is even broader, because with Rotary Exchange, you're able to meet students from all over the world. So this is my group of inbounds 10 years ago. In a more personal level, I can say that I was really influenced by the many activities that you, Rotarians, and also Rotaractors have provided. And I really appreciate them because it shows how Rotarians can be kind, supportive, generous, really amazing. So here are some activities that I did during my exchange, thanks to you all. I know that not all of them are here, because by the end of the exchange, we exchange students kind of stop taking pictures. We get used to your day-to-day life. But these are some great examples. So I think that was my first Rotary meeting, and John Boyne was the president at the time, but I think I think he was not there, so Sandy McCabe introduced me. So this was a run for the cure volunteering. I volunteered with some Rotary actors and the club. I went apple picking at the McGauley's. I'm not sure if Bruce is here. It was a very nice day. And then we had barbecue at his place. That was the Great Star Climb expedition. I also started volunteering for the United Way. I think once a week I would go there. That was a Rotary Fellowship at the Aroma restaurant with Felipe. It was a very fun evening. That was a sports celebrity dinner that I gather you're having today. So that was 10 years ago when we had a silent action. It was very nice. Some hockey games. I remember that I hadn't been to any hockey game. We don't have hockey games in Brazil. And Rick Coates would come here and he would say, Marina hasn't been to a hockey game. Who can take her? And then Brian Vickers and Jim Belton took me, and it was very fun. I loved it. I think it's one of my favorite sports. I don't keep track of it, but it's really fun. So that was the United Way celebration that we volunteered. That's Kirk, he's now a Rotarian, right? That was the Rotary Rummage sale. It was very fun. I think I went with Lillian through the neighborhood houses and we hand out flyers. It was very nice. And the day was very special. I was really amazed at all the things that we could gather and sell. It's wonderful. That was the Wilf Wilkinson dinner with some Rotary Exchange students, other Rotary Exchange students as well. I went to the Pinery with Bill Barnett. It was a very nice day. He took me and a friend of mine from Colombia there, and we spent the day there. Very nice. And I had a wonderful farewell dinner at a Roma restaurant. You invited some friends, and we had dinner. It was really, really great. And I think that last picture was my last Rotary meeting with you. Besides that, I should mention other great things that were provided by Rotary members, like going to Dawn and Danielle Sports Cottage, attending a Ken Bowlby marketing class at Western, going to dinner and a play with Heather Broadhead, Thanksgiving dinner and rock concert with Rick Coates and his daughter Tori, dinner with Jen Delaney, YMCA membership by Sean Elliott. Robin Gallardi took care of my teeth because I had too much sugar during my exchange. James Gardner helped me with some bank issues, and he even emailed my dad. Elizabeth Harris took me to Port Elgin. Edwin and Judith Holder took me to a Portuguese restaurant. I had a lovely dinner at Jean and Sandy McCabe's, and she would also give me rides. Sarah Stapleton was my counselor. I went to Thanksgiving and Easter dinner at the Pattersons. Ron Posner took me to our Archis to visit. He also took me to visit Laurier Secondary. Dave Preston gave me tickets to the dinner with the president, Wilf Wilkinson. I had dinner at the lovely house of Susan Sharp. John Stewart gave me a ride to Blue Mountain, and I had the greatest fun with his daughter, Craigie, and her family, who was also a Rotary Exchange student. Brian Vickers was the youth exchange officer and would help me a lot. Britta Winter took me to Joe Cool's and invited me to Mamma Mia musical. It was like lots of things, and I'm really grateful for that. And that's not even talking about the other great experiences I had with other exchange students due to the many activities that the district committee would offer, and also rebound students like Kirk, who's now a Rotarian, and my host sister, Sarah Nagalinga. So these are just some pictures because there are many of them. Okay. Besides that, I had this extraordinary view of how Canadian families can be great. So I had wonderful experiences with my 3 families, who took me to Toronto, Hindu temples, Niagara Falls, Montreal. Lillian took me on the greatest road trip ever across Canada towards Regina, where we went to pick up Dawn. I also learned to ski with my second host family. But not only that, they showed me great love and care in the day-to-day life. I felt loved in a country that wasn't my own. So these are just some pictures. The first picture is with John Stewart's daughter, her family, in Vermont. And that's with Lillian, and Montreal with Lillian and Dawn. Oh, I think, okay. So, all of this helped me to change the way I see life and the world. So I went back to my city in Brazil, Aracaju, studied to get into a public university. I got a law degree and was able to get a good job as a law clerk at a federal court. And after some years apart from Rotary, in 2016, our Rotary chairman for District 4390, Paulo Gomes, invited Rebound students to create a Rotex group. So for those that are not familiar with it, Rotex is a group of former Rotary Exchange students who help Rotary with the many activities involving the exchange. Rotex is not officially recognized by Rotary International, but we are always following district rules. So at first, Paulo only invited me to review the Rotex statute because he knew I was really busy, still studying. I ended up becoming the first Rotex president in our district. And that same year, we organized the 5th Brazilian Rotex Convention with 46 Rotex members from Brazil and Argentina. The convention happened at the same time as the 36th National Meeting of the Leaders of the Youth Exchange Program of Rotary International, which gather Rotarians from all over the world. And I know that many of you may know Catherine Buckley. She was there, and we had a very nice breakfast during her stay. So some of the presenters of the Rotex Convention were Paulo Henrique Soares. He was an exchange student, and now he's an executive director of Vale do Rio Doce, a huge Brazilian company. He was also a Rotex member. Jenny Hatanaka from São Paulo. She's president of the Associação Brasileira do Intercâmbio de Jovens, and she talked about the Rotary Foundation. Ellie Schippers from the Netherlands. She talked about the relationship between Rotex and Rotary. Dennis White from the US. We talked about the reverse cultural shock. And we all cried because we all remember our exchange. It was beautiful. Burkhard Grunwald from Germany. And he talked about his experience re-encountering exchange students after 30 years. And this is the group that met the Rotex Convention. We had Rotexers from all over Brazil telling us about the Rotex International Convention and their experiences with Rotary and the exchange. This was an amazing experience because you can only understand what it is to be a Rotary Exchange student if you are one. And it doesn't really matter if you have never met each other. When we gather, this magic thing happens because we all feel really connected. And that is what Rotary does. It connects people all over the world. Besides the convention, Rotex also helps Rotary with many activities throughout the year with inbounds. So there are welcome meetings, Independence Day parades, Christmas dinner with traditional dishes, carnival, and also visiting those in need like an elderly home and schools. So these are some activities with Rotex. Last year, Rotex 4390, although one of the newest groups in Brazil, was the first one to receive Rotary International recognition as an alumni association. So we were very proud of it. So after a year being a Rotex member, our district chairman invited me to become a Rotary member. I was very happy with the offer because I think that becoming a Rotarian would mean that somehow I would give back the amazing opportunities that I had here. What is special about my Rotary Club is that it's a very new club. It's not even 2 years old, and it was founded by exchange students' parents mainly. So almost everyone was somehow involved with the Rotary Youth Exchange and thought that it would be a very nice way of helping our community. So the Rotary Club of Aracaju Farol is a really small club. We only have 15 members, and we meet only twice a month because we're a unique club. So we debate many things online. Since we're a small club, we still don't have big projects, but we try to help the city with small actions. One of my personal goals for our club is to create more continuous activities within the club, and I often remember the activities that were planned here by the Rotary Club of London. You guys are like my example for Rotary. So these are some of the activities that we had last year. But these are just some examples of how the exchange can impact lives. Also last year, outbound students that are currently living abroad decided by themselves to create an Interact Club. They gathered a few months before going on their exchange, invited friends, and the club was founded. So these are some pictures of their activities. This Interact Club is sponsored by our club too. And this year, the plan is to found a Rotaract Club, as there is none in my city. So just some pictures of the Interact Club. So, as I said before, my exchange has influenced me in a way that I'm not even able to describe. I'm always asking myself if there's something more that I should be doing, and I know there is always plenty of room for improvement. I'm not currently the Rotarian that I truly want to be, because I still need to improve my professional life, which I also think should be guided by the motto service above self. But I'm doing what I can to become one Rotarian, and as I said, you guys are like what I am in life. Like, I'm truly amazed by the Rotary Club of London activities. So, you are my role models. To finish, I'd like to quote Karen Connolly again, because she can really translate the feeling of going on an exchange. I learned the word here, learned that countries are constellations, points of light connected by invisible lines, and distance is in the narrowness of the mind. Thank you.
Do we have any questions?
Just a very basic one. How big is Aracaju and where is it in Brazil?
Aracaju is the northeast part of Brazil. It's close to Salvador, if you've heard of it, yeah. And it's very warm. It's actually 30 degrees right now there. And it has about 700,000 people. Yeah, it's on the coast. Yeah, it's the capital of Sergipe, which is the smallest state in Brazil.
So thank you, Marina, for that inspirational talk about how Rotary's impacted your life, and you're about to impact 50 infants by immunizing for polio. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so wait.
Sorry. So this is from our club.
So we have a banner. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.